Hey everyone, it's Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 17, Episode 8, coming to you from the living room again in my spot here on the two-seater. How is everyone this week? What have you been up to? What's new with you? It is February 16th, so we just had Valentine's Day 2 days ago. If you celebrate that or enjoy being loved or loving others, happy Valentine's Day to you. And if you are in Alberta, I think other places might have it to other provinces. I don't know if it's the same time, but it did start in Alberta, Canada. So it's going to be Family Day on Monday tomorrow. So happy Family Day to you for tomorrow as well. And yeah, I made it look a little bit like I'm just sitting here doing nothing. But let's be real. Obsessive personality, still cold outside, so we're not out in the garden, and haven't put away the Valentine's decorations yet to bring out the St. Patrick's stuff. And the house is pretty clean. Things are done for the most part. And I will just pull up the table, and while we're talking, especially if no one is interacting live, then I can make miniatures. I have my microphone on, so hopefully it's working. If you can't hear me, like I have turned it on and it is green, so it should be working. But if for some reason you guys aren't hearing me, somebody needs to let me know, or I'm just talking to myself. So because I'm a spoiled little girl, my husband has bought me something else. He bought himself one as well, but I don't get to have a blue cover because blue is like for Man City, his football team, and it's his favorite color. So blue is what he got for himself, which is fine, but I got rose gold as a cover because I have a journal and like this tissue box and some other things. Rose gold just seems to be a color that's in my life a little bit. So I got a rose gold cover. I thought it would look neutral enough to take with me places and pretty enough to go with some of my other stuff. But I got my very first iPad. I've had iPads from the kids and such after they've been old and broken, but this is my very first iPad that's my very own. And the good news about this, I already got myself signed in and the volume turned down, is that now I can turn it on and use this to look at comments. So if that's further away, I don't have to go there for comments. I can check on here. So let's see if this works. It should tell me that I'm live. Oh, it might have the sound on still. No, it's quiet. Good. So I can set that up on the, oh, how do I do this? This way. I know it's a little bit of a delay, but it's only a few seconds, so that's good. Put myself over there so I can watch myself if I need to, and if we have any questions. So I've got my drink, that. Okay, the other thing is that I was just wearing this because I'm just a bit chilly. It's not cold in the house right now, but it's just me. I'm colder than most people are usually, so I'm going to put this back on. We went over to Amy's house for her birthday. Her birthday was on the 12th, but we went over to her house today for her birthday lunch, and I didn't know if it was going to be cold or not, so I just brought this just in case I was cold there. I'm going to pull up my table. Bring you guys closer, and I'll bring my light over. I don't know what we're going to make, but I mean, more importantly is talking to me, not whatever I'm making, even if I'm just playing with some clay. Come on. Yeah, let's get them off, whatever. It doesn't need to be that close. Remember, I can check my comments on the... Oh, no! I wanted to show you guys that, but I just knocked it down. I am a clumsy person. Those of you who know me will know this. Oh. Shoot, hang on. Hang on, I dropped... Where did it go? I dropped some tomatoes. I could get them after, but... Oh, Lisa, come on. I worked so hard on those. This is the only problem with miniatures. I haven't put tops on those yet. I'll show you guys in a second, but I heard it fall and roll. I'll have to look in a minute. Okay, so let's see, maybe I think one of these. Yikes. Okay. Those, at least if I mess all this stuff up, I've already taken pictures. But let's try not to knock everything down now. Okay, so I made little tomatoes, and I put them on little, like, vine ripened tomatoes, but then I had to make them in a shape that, so these little plastic containers are from, it's like food that I give the axolotls, and when I was trying to have ghost shrimp for the to put in with the axolotls, but I've tried having them twice, and you got to keep them out for 30 days before you put them in with the axolotls. The axolotls will eat them; they are feeders, but if you have enough plants in with the axolotls, the shrimp will hide in the plants and stuff, and then they'll reproduce and they'll clean the tank and the algae and everything. Plus, it's a food source for the axolotls. But I've tried to have them twice. And both times it's been before 30 days, but I've done a water change, and I've cleaned them killed them both times, even though I did the water changes differently, trying to have the water neutral, so it was the same as the water they were in, but I'll have to try again. But anyways, when I was feeding them the little daffia or whatever, the little tiny things, they come in these little containers, and you can get bloodworms like this when your axolotls are little, but they're like perfect for my little vine ripened tomatoes, and I need to put little plastic covers on them. And then I made some like this that are still, hang on, why is this one stuck to the, so I turned them over so I could varnish the bottoms, but they're on the vine still. So I put varnish on them so that they'd be shinier, and that's the first time like really using varnish like that, so I'm pretty proud of them like that. But this one is stuck, and now okay, so I'll put my tomatoes aside, and I'll find the ones that fell after. I am just a clumsy lady. Oh, I also made these. This is what I just made. Like, I just finished these yesterday, putting the varnish on them. And stuff. These are like cherry tomatoes, but I didn't do any vines for them. But when I varnished them, because they were laying flat, the varnish, like, they all stuck together, and the varnish, like, was on the bottom, so they look a little bit weird from the varnish. But anyways, I got to put them into some kind of container. I also want to show you some things that I made. I'm frustrated about those tomatoes on the floor. Anyways, I don't know why I did this. I should have used a straw, especially because there's paper straws. I could have used that for the center, but you know how I tried to make things out of the things that they are? So actually in here, I did these two. So I've been looking when we have food and stuff to see if any of the food products have like little, like there's this, it was an American person who made, on the box of rubbish bags, like garbage bags, it had little tiny box, like showing the different brand, like not brands, the different types that you could get under that brand, and so it looked like little boxes, like just the labels. So she cut those out, and she or he cut them out and put them on little boxes, so it looked like they had these different boxes of bin bags, and then just took a little piece of a plastic bin bag to look like it could come out. So I've been watching on food products that we buy, not buying anything special, just as we buy them, to see if any of the writing, this is my like dryer sheets, and I'll explain why I have this. But say you're looking at, you're going to get rid of this, and you can see on the side here that the same label is written, instead of that big, it's written small, so you can make a miniature out of that. So I've been watching stuff like that. So the only things that I've made is, and unfortunately there's no picture on here, but I've done Oakhurst slow cooked smoky barbecue pork ribs. So I made 6 of these little boxes out of the boxes that they came in. 3 of them have they have part of the ribs on the bottom, like this purple, so they're, because it's written on 2 different sides. And then, so these ones open like this, so I can put some barbecue ribs in there. So if they go to the store, they have like these little things that you can look in and see the ribs. And then, only other thing is we have these things. I've told you guys about these before. They're called papadums. They're like an Indian. They're made from chickpeas. They're not bread, but they're like a crispy, like a so what are those things? Like a cracker, I guess. Like you put them, if you deep fry them, they get crispy. But we make ours in the microwave. I cook at home, but we put them in the microwave. And you guys are probably, even in North America, we have Patak's brand. So I made these little Patak from the papadum boxes. I used the Patak labels and made these, but I made them different than those other barbecue ones. I made these kind of like matchboxes where from another part of the box I made a little thing to slide out. Those are the papadums. That's a piece of them, what they look like. Anyways, yeah, so I made these little matchbox things. I may be able to put papadums in them, or I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but they're cute. And I made, how many of these? I made 4 of these. Or hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of them. So when they're on the shelf, and again, there's 2 orange and 2 purple. So when they're on the, like purple, like on the sides, like just different places. So when they're on the shelf or at the store, it looks like more than one product. So I've been trying to do stuff like that. I can't remember what I've showed you guys out of here or not. You can see some things. I don't know if you can see my oranges. But anyways, did I show you guys my bananas? Probably not. I'm really proud of my bananas. The best thing about my bananas is the ones that are open. So these are my bananas here that I still need to like put color onto and stuff, like some green and brown and everything. But this is, I'm really proud of my bananas that have like the open peel. I worked on them and they turned out really, really well. So I'm really proud of those. And I even made just some, because I was happy with the way the skins were turning out, the banana peels, I decided to do just some peels. So, and then Steve's like, well, where are you going to use those? I'm like, I don't know, in their compost on the floor for them to slip. I don't know. So I did some, you can see where I put like some green and some brown where it would open. I made a bigger banana too. Don't ask me why, but just because I was having fun with them and they were turning out well. And then all my banana chips. See, I made a what's called a the cane, which is like a long roll, like a snake, like a long snake of whatever you've done. And so this inside of the banana has like these marks, so it looks like banana, but I made too much of a cane. So I have all these banana chips that I don't know what I'm going to do with. So then after they're baked, I slice them up. I think I've shown you guys my lemons. Again, the inside of it looks lemony. Maybe, I don't know if I've shown you my lemons or not. But I don't know what I've done this last week. And can you see the lemon in there where it's, I use a bit of translucent in there. And there's not so much lemon slices. Oh, well, there's like some slices, but all these lemons are with the insides like that, so I could slice them up if I need to. There's more on the bottom too, some bigger ones. But oh, and I did these. I think I showed you the green before when I made cucumbers, and then when I made lemons. This is my extra cane at the end where it was the 2 colors, but not good enough to make, so I just twisted it. So I made it into little candy sticks. So the green from my cucumbers, and this is my white and yellow from my lemons, and it's like candy sticks. And then I cut a bunch of little ones in there too, so I might put them in different containers but for now I have them in these as candies instead of wasting them. Oh, I made 2 wands as well. I might have shown you guys the wands. Don't ask me why. But I am going to do my witch's house, which is another big Barbie house that I'm going to do with. So these are my 2 wands. But when I baked them, it's weird because they almost look the same. They both bent the same way, which is weird because I made them at different times and yet they look very similar. So I was showing in this, I took this out to show you those boxes that I made from the containers, from the food containers, because I also tried my hand at, so this is where I'm going back to where I should have used like a paper straw because it's skinnier, or I have like this is from a lolly, like a lollipop, like a sucker if you're North American, the lolly stick, like the sucker stick, but it doesn't have a hole in it. So where and then this is like from the middle of a Q-tip, or what do you guys call them here? What do they call them here? Anyways, that's the inside, and again, it's round, but it's too small. So what I did was I took a toilet paper roll and rolled it really small on not a dowel. This is a skewer, and used that to roll the cardboard really small. And then I made a long one out of toilet paper, like 2 sheets of toilet paper. Oh, that's not toilet paper. I rolled it on that, and then I cut it with a knife so that I have little tiny toilet rolls. You can see the cardboard in the center there. It's not perfect, but it's still. So I made these little toilet rolls, and then I also made little kitchen roll. I'm so clumsy. Kitchen roll. So the cardboard center, and this is the extra thick stuff that absorbs. And then I made the plastic around it. And then this one says Snuggly Winter Nights, double 13.5. So what this winter, I use it on this one too. I use the heart kitchen roll and made these ones as well. And it says Snuggly Winter Nights. In a flyer, I was looking for the labels, like, in flyers where they have, we don't get as many flyers and stuff as you do in North America, but I was looking for, like, the small advertisements of the product. But I found, like, the only thing I could find was for the toilet roll. I could find this one from, I can't remember the brand now, and it says Family Soft, Clean, Gentle Care, but I had to cut it down to size just to fit this 4-pack, and it doesn't even say what the product is, but I can try again. Threw that one down again. And so these ones that say winter on them, those were actually advertising duvet and pillows, but I used it for these. So just trying different things. And then when I was at the shop the other day, these are for crafts and stuff, but I thought they would be perfect for them to use because they're moving into their new house. So using as totes with some of their stuff in it, moving into their new house. Now, I don't think that you might bring toilet paper and stuff if you had it at your old house, but it's not exactly what you would have stored in it. But I thought they would make good storage boxes for them when they're moving. Yesterday, I wanted to try the translucent Fimo. It says Fimo Effect, to see how translucent it was on its own. And after I did it and realized that, so I made this vase just by hand. And after I realized that it's not that translucent, if you do, like, the thinner it is, if you do a thin slice, it's more translucent. And it does give a good effect, like in my cucumbers and different things that I've mixed it with. But then I looked up this article and it showed me different types of polymer clay and which brands are more translucent and which ones are less translucent, especially if you're doing jewelry, beads, and stuff like that. And they even, it shows like you can make like faux stones, like tiger's eye, and all the like jewels and gems and stones and stuff that people have. You can make faux ones, like fake ones with different clay and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so this isn't as clear as I wanted it to be, but there's pros and cons to different brands. Hi, Hunter. Hope you're well. Hunter Anton says, hey, Lisa. Hope you're well. Say hi to your mom. Yeah, so I'm trying different things. So I might paint that. Oh, I did make 2 vases the other day, too. One of them I did different shades of green, and this one I did different shades of blue after. I just was playing again by hand. I don't have a pottery wheel, and I've never actually used a pottery wheel. But I painted them with just these acrylic marker pens that Steve bought me. Hunter says I will. Good, good. I hope you guys are well. And say hi to your grandma, too, if you talk to her. I'm going to have a sip of my pop. My mind is still thinking about the tomatoes that fell. Other than that, I am not sure what to make today. If you guys have any suggestions of what to make. Oh, yeah, I didn't have, this will be in the way, but this is my light that I use. Oh, yeah, I didn't think so. He said, unfortunately, I don't anymore. Yeah, I didn't think you guys talked to your grandma, but we can still send her well wishes and hope that she's doing well. So yeah, this is my ring light, and it has a magnifying glass on it too that I can use if I need to look at things while I'm making stuff here. But because I have the light with the camera right now, I don't really need this one, plus it'll be in the way. I still have some colors out from making my tomatoes and stuff like that, but I don't know what you guys want to make right now, if anything. Otherwise, so this is what we do. Steve sits over there, I sit over here, put the blanket on. Remember, all of these chairs are reclining, so I can put my feet up, watch TV, and do stuff here at the table. So I don't know what we should make, if you guys have any suggestions. This is a lighter red than this I made for the tomatoes. I wanted different shades of red. So I think this is one I used for the cherry tomatoes. And I think this is just regular red. I don't think I added anything to this. I can't tell. Let me put my glasses on. Because I bought brown, yellow, white, red. Did we get any other colors yet? Black, white, brown, yellow, and red in the big 1 pound blocks of Fimo brand. So yeah, so much for that small kit with all the different colors. But I know that I wanted to make more things, and the you know, I haven't bought blue yet, but your red, yellow, and blue are your primary colors, and you can mix them to make any other colors. Now, you can already see on my fingers that the red is very, oh, I was checking if this is the same. It is a very strong color, so if I'm working with red, it gets on my hands, and I would need to wash my hands before I mix any other colors, or else the red on my hands will mix with it. I was going to make this just into a ball to put away, but I mean, you can use gloves too if you want, but that, you know, I mean, I could wash my hands, but it seems like a waste of gloves. It's the same thing, unless you have gloves that you put on for your reds, and then you set them aside, and then you keep using those every time you use your reds and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to make a ball. That's how I like to store them. Not too red on my hands. So I'll put these away, and then we can make something. These are my greens and yellows, so I can put all these little greens and yellows away. I don't want to get, yeah, I did. I put the red on that. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm not getting up to wash my hands right now. So yellow, 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 yellow. Those are for making my, what do you call it? Bananas. So those are pinks and browns. This is green. No, this is green as well, so that goes in there. I think this is the same color as that actually, but just a smaller piece of it. That was for the stems on the tomatoes. What should we make, guys? So this is my reds and browns and pinks. I have so much pink, but I don't know what to make out of it. Especially because I want to get the fruits and veg done for the for the market stall. It's white. And then I have my blues and purples. Red. And these are whites. I don't want to mix up my whites and my translucents. Let me see if these are both white. Both white. And this is white. But I'll use my fingers to do it. I don't want to get the red from the palms of my hand on it. All right, let's try doing something with pink. What can we make with... Okay, so like I said, I want to do my fruits and veg, but because I have so many pinks and stuff. We've done a few strawberries, but I used a lighter color for that and then used chalk to dust the strawberries. We've done cherries. I've done apples, tomatoes, pink, 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 pink. Lots of flowers with pink, but not fruits, hey? We can try making some flowers because, you know, spring should be around the corner. I don't know about where you are, but it has gotten colder here, so it feels more wintry right now. But you know what? Spring is just around the corner, so it'll be here before we know it. February is already half done, which is crazy. Wait, are we? Yeah, February is almost half done, and it just feels like it was just like Christmas and New Year's. So that's, you know, that means like we're almost in March, which means spring. So, and then I'll be outside and obsessed with gardening. So you guys will have to join me in the garden or else I'll come in from the garden if it's still getting dark at 8 o'clock when I do my lives. But the good thing is that I moved I cleaned the office and I moved I might have told you guys this, I don't know, but I moved the big dollhouse, like the Barbie house that I'm building for the elves. I moved it into the office on top of one of the desks in there. So it's nice and clean in the office, but it's up there that I can work on it or set things in it and work on miniatures. And it not be in the way, and the dining room and living room not be. I still have work to do. I still have to put stuff away, but yeah, it'll be good because it'll be one of those, another hobby like scrapbooking or whatever that I can go to and do some of, but it doesn't have to be out taking over the house everywhere. But yet it's available for me to do. Like this stuff will be put away in a place where I can just bring it out and do it in the evening if I wanted to, where I'm not totally obsessed with one thing. It's taking over the house and nothing else is getting done. So that's good. There's these really, really pretty flowers that I saw. They were almost like peony flowers, but I don't know how they made them. And I don't know if I can do that. So I know that a lot of people who work with clay will work with like a tile, like a ceramic tile, so that it's flat. And they also use parchment paper, which is like sort of like wax paper, like baking paper. And so if I make something on here and then I put this in the air fryer or the oven, then I don't have to. So say I make something really, really thin on this paper, I don't have to try and take it off the paper to bake it. So I think that's what they did. And I told you guys that I would tell you what I use this dryer sheet box for. When I make things really tiny, like the cherry tomatoes or my blueberries or my grapes, because I use the air fryer, but I still set it to bake, because of the fan in there, they kind of fly all over the place. So I put things in here so they don't go anywhere. The furthest they have to fly is a short distance. If I put them in the oven, we do have a fan-assisted oven, but you can shut that off so they wouldn't fly everywhere in the oven. But especially if I'm making something that small, like you don't want to turn your oven on and use all that heat to bake something like that, especially if they're spread out, right? Like it doesn't make sense. So that's why I use this dryer sheet box. Plus, can I just say at the beginning too, when I first started using this, oh, it would smell so good when it heated up, but the smell is almost gone from it. So maybe another dryer sheet box will be done in the laundry room eventually. So they had these different colored petals that were like so flat, and so I don't know if they like rolled it on parchment paper and then cut the shapes out, or because they must have. See, this is the problem. Like, especially this is actually my rolling pin from the kitchen for baking stuff, and yeah, when stuff sticks to it, you can use baby powder, but I still haven't found that it's like, I don't know. Let's see if I put a lot. Like, I don't want to do it like flour, where I have done it on my hands, but I don't think I want to mix it into the clay like you would with dough. But oh, where's my, maybe putting baby powder on the, so they made these really thin, and I only saw pictures of the final things, and I didn't ask on it how they made them, so, and I haven't looked it up, but they had really thin petals, and then, so you can, I mean, you can flatten it with your fingers, and then the petals had like, I don't know, again, I don't know if they cut them in, but it was like, kind of like triangles, like pokey, like, there's a name for that. What's it called? Use scissors and make those, not scallop, but there's a name for it. Anyway, so they took like, so I'm guessing they took a bunch of like really thin, I guess you could do it with your hands like this. I am getting it quite thin. I just don't want it to stick to my hand. And, you'd start with the center, which would be a lot smaller than this. And they slowly, like, so if this was your center already made, and you're putting the petals all around, but like really thin, and then kept like building up around it and baking them. I don't know if I took a picture of them. I can't remember, like a screenshot, but we can try making something like that. Oh, now it's going to bug me what that's called. So if you remember, when you have decorative scissors and you can use them on paper, or there's a name for when you cut the edges really thin, or cut the edges, and there's like different shapes, but that pokey one, there's a name for that, I think. Not scalloped, but something like that, I think. So I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking thin pieces of clay. And I could probably roll this one and make my center of my flower. So let's just make some kind of weird flower. I'll bring this closer to you. So some kind of weird flower center. I just rolled it, and then we'll just keep building on there. We don't need to make the petals anything special. We'll just keep rolling around it and see what we come up with. I'm going to put my glasses on because, as Steve likes to remind me, I'm an old lady. I've watched these things like when people over 40 and under 40, and when it shows like the people over 40 looking at a selfie, so they take the selfie of all four of them, and then they bring the camera there to look, and you see all four of them put on their glasses to look to see if it's good. And it totally reminded me of me, so, the over 40. So I'm just taking these flat pieces and rolling it around the outside, like kind of like, I guess, a rose would be. And I don't know if it's going to turn out. We will see. And I guess I could like bend them down a little bit or put something in it and then I can cut the end. We'll just keep turning it. And the thing about it is, like, like I made this one, but if we don't like it, we just go like this. And it's squished, and it's a ball of it, and we just start again. So I don't know why I did that, because I was showing you guys, but also because it looked like they were getting too close together. Like, I don't want them to be too close together where it just looks like one. I guess that's where you could, okay, let's do some different shades. So I'm going to take this color and a little bit of this pink with just some, it's like a beige that I had some of, and I'm going to mix it to make a similar color to what we're using, but it'll be different enough. So if we put different color petals, hopefully you'll see more of a contrast between them. Does that even look like a different color? Barely. Let's add some white. I could even add some translucent if we wanted to. So what is new? Like I said, we went to Amy's for her birthday today. We've babysat Jackson this past week, had art class, cleaned. Nothing I can report too interesting, I don't think. Just enjoying life. And yeah, I need to get outside more. Okay, so I think I told you guys last week that I had to do my blood pressure for a week because I have high blood. It seems that I have high blood pressure. So I did my blood pressure for a week, but then when I got like a thing from the doctor, it's actually like I have to actually submit my 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. readings as they happen. So I'm having to do my blood pressure again 2 times a day for a week. So I've done 3 today. When I did my evening one, it's been my third day of doing it. So 4 more days, and then I will make a doctor's appointment to see what to do with my high blood pressure. Again, another joy of getting older, but not only is it about getting older, it's also that it runs in the family, so I want to be safe, rather be safe than sorry with it. So I'm starting my center again, but with this lighter pink, and then I'm going to actually do an even lighter pink. And I find this too, like, so I guess, again, I find that when I make the not dough, what's this called again, clay, really thin, it becomes like, it can become sticky and stick to me. So I'm going to put some more powder on my hands. Maybe that baby powder did do something when I was using this other pink here. I don't know, but I don't like when it sticks to me like that. And I mean, we know that talc is a carcinogen now, so I don't want to use that too much either and be inhaling it lots. And just so you know, I haven't been using it to make my other things. I'm just trying it now because I want to try and make these things really thin. I already have a pinky color here. It's almost peach, and it's got some red stuck to it, so I'm going to mix it in. The other thing, like when you warm up the clay and work it in with your fingers and warm it up, it'll become more sticky as well. But especially if you haven't, if it's in blocks like this, or you just bought it, or even with the Fimo, if it gets older, you want to work it in really good so that you don't get cracks and stuff when it bakes. So talk to me, guys. What's new? What should we do for lives in the future? I was really excited about the one a couple weeks ago where my uncle was on it. That was exciting with his ship. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out. My uncle makes a miniature like wooden ship. It's really cool. The HSM Bounty. And last week we did Valentine's stuff in the kitchen with Aurora. That was fun too, but whether people noticed or not, this is crazy because last week's has the most views on out of any of my videos, and it definitely was not my best one. And some of you may or may not have noticed that I was still not totally well. I didn't even make like the whole, like usually I try to have things all nice and displayed. Well, I didn't do that again today, and I'm not sick, so there's not really an excuse, but I tried to, I try to make everything look pretty and stuff. And last week's, when we were making treats and Valentine treats in the kitchen, I just had things already spread out like this. But it turned out fine, and I was happy to have Aurora there, but it's weird that it's like my top viewed live, and yet it's like not, like I said, it's not my best one ever, but you can check that one out as well. And I'll bring it closer. Let me put this one on. I'll do it. So I'm just wrapping it around, but I've used 3 different colors now. This is the 3rd color. And I'm just wrapping it around to see if it works out. This is not how the guys were at all. His were like, so it looks like a rose, but his were like, he made a bunch that were like about this size probably. And he already had his middle, like he probably started from a middle, but he would put them around the outside like this, and then it became like big like this. So he probably had them about this size, some of the petals at the end, and around the outside, and you could actually see all the petals. So I don't think that he cooked them and then put them together. He must have put them together before, but I'd have to watch a tutorial on it. So don't be afraid to, like, I'm a mimic, so I like to just look at something and try and copy it, but that's not the best way to do things. Sometimes it's better if you look up the tutorial and watch it, and you'll find easier ways to do things instead of just trying to copy it by looking at it. This is what I'm afraid of too, is that as I'm wrapping these around, they are hiding what's in the inside. So I'm going to try and open these petals that we've been putting on here so you can see the inside better. We don't lose the colors. So this is sort of like a Valentine. We could do a bouquet of roses or flowers. I used to, when I was a kid, drawing and stuff, roses, I drew roses all the time. I don't know. So it's one of those, you get really good when you do the same thing over and over. You know, you get better at something because you're doing the exact same thing over and over. So if we do this and just make a bunch of roses. Now, when you have something like this, so I opened it up so you can see in there better. When you have something like this and you don't want to lie it down, that's where I have I have this potato with a toothpick in it. And so I could put this on the end of that like that, or we could find, if we knew what we were using as a stem, then we could put the stem in already and we could bake them like that. And that's why I'm using a potato. I asked on my polymer clay group what else to use. Some people use old clay that's already baked, like they have toothpicks and stuff in it. They use tin foil with sticks or wires sticking out of it. Tin foil, they said. Some people use cardboard. They said, because they said there's different degrees for things to, like, that they'll start on fire or heat up at. I don't know what I'm going to use besides the potato, but it just makes me nervous thinking about it. But we could, so with my stems, if we were to make these roses, I guess polymer clay does dry, like does bake hard, so the stems would be strong enough to hold them up. Yes, Kimber said instead of talc, try cornstarch, and I have heard cornstarch as well, which would be not a carcinogen. So yeah, my stems would be, if I used polymer clay to make the stems, they would be hard after I bake them. But actually, you know what, it might be a good idea to use the toothpicks, the cocktail sticks, as the stems, and then after they're done, I can paint them green, and then I can add polymer clay to make leaves on them or whatever as well. So I would need more cocktail sticks, but we can lie them down if we want. So let's try making some roses while we talk. So what else shall we talk about? What's new with you guys? I am looking forward to, I know Kimber's watching right now. Kimber, I've tried to figure out days for August, and there might be a bit of an overlap with you and David here with my mom here as well, which is fine with me. So I'm looking forward to seeing my sister and her husband and their kids in Ireland, picking up my mom, and my mom staying here, as well as Kimber and David are hopefully going to make it out for a bit this summer to visit us as well, seeing they're just across the pond. They're in Canada, but they're in the Maritimes, so it's halfway here compared to our Alberta family. So that's exciting, making plans for the summer, which tells you how close spring really is. Because even when I was at Amy and James's today too, because they have a lovely, lovely garden at their new house, James is slowly learning how to tend the garden and everything, but I wasn't here last summer. As you guys know, we were in Canada, so he had to go about it and get through the summer with their new house, just whatever he could. And I told him I'd help him with it this year, but I haven't even been in my own garden yet. So yeah, I will definitely help him this year in the garden when the weather is nicer with what he needs. So I'll have my own garden to do, and I'll help him keep his, and his is bigger and a lot there's a lot in their garden, but it's also more established. So there's some things that'll be more work and some things that'll be less work because it's a well-established garden. Oops, I just squeezed it. That is Steve calls me heavy-handed. That's exactly what it is. It's making delicate things like this is not as easy for someone who's heavy-handed like I am, because I squish them. So I'll show you guys this one in a second. I think I made the last petals too thick to put more on, but I do want to use all 3 colors in each rose. They don't have to be perfect. None of my stuff has to be perfect. And you know what? When I look at my miniature groups and I see some of the things people make and they're very like shaky or not cut nice, but you can tell that you can tell what it is, and you can tell. I mean, that's how I am in art class too. My goal in art class when we do a different project every week, say you're doing a giraffe or a flower or whatever, it's like, can people looking at this tell what it is? If you can tell what it is, then that's step 1, right? That whatever you've made, they know what it is. So it's going to be the same thing with these roses. One of the things I saw today was like a spice rack, especially the smaller you make them, or when you're beginning to do miniatures, your stuff is not going to look perfect, but it still looks exciting. Like, it's exciting to see this little tiny spice rack with these little tiny spices, just knowing that that's what the person was trying to make. There's this rose that I've been making. I accidentally, like, the colors on the outside, that petal is, but you know what? They don't have to be perfect. We're going to make 12 of these. Richard Bain Tremblay says, hey, my longtime friend. Hey, Richard, haven't seen you in years. Hope everything is well with you and your family. I love that we keep up on Facebook with each other so that, even if we haven't chatted like this, I've still seen pictures and stuff over the years. So it is really cool. It's like being in the same neighborhood, and yet worldwide, because we have our friends from all over the place, everywhere, that we keep up with. I really am grateful for technology, not just for silly videos like this, but just that we can be in contact with people whenever we need. My mom can call me and we can video chat in an instant if she's feeling lonely or she wants to talk, or if there's something important to talk about. So I am so grateful for technology. I'm waiting because it's February, I'm waiting for like TV shows to start again. The different seasons. A lot of the shows here are, even if there's a new season of something that me and Steve watch, a lot of British shows are only 6 episodes long, and if you can get them all at once, which we prefer, that you don't have to wait the 6 weeks, but then we binge them and then they're done and you're like, oh no, I want more, which we have to understand that for them to put out 6 episodes of a TV show, it's a lot of work, a lot of time, and you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they can just put stuff out for as quick as we want them. But we've been catching up on the series Dexter. We've been watching that. I think might be in season 4 right now of Dexter, 3 or 4, I can't remember. So we do have something to watch. I was just thinking about what I'm doing after this, because Steve is not gone out today, so me and him will watch TV when I'm done my live. Richard says, very excited to come see you and your family. Oh, Kimber says, very excited to come see you and your family. Yes, Kimber, I'm excited too. My friend Trish came for our wedding to pick up my mom, to bring my mom back to Canada back in the day. But other than that, none. And luckily, my siblings have all been out here, except my adopted sister Amber. But Tina, Melody, Billy, they've all been out here. And my Auntie Joan has been out here.
Kimber, how long ago did you lose sound? I was just talking about Etsy shops. Like the last thing I talked about was Etsy shops, and I was saying how making different things for the elves in their house, how you can make things out of lots of stuff, and I'm thinking about what they would need if they moved in, and like, so people who make things, if they're crafty and stuff, they'll start an Etsy. I don't have an Etsy, but I might, eventually have one. And so say we got really good at making these roses and people aren't good at making them, so I make dozens of roses. Yeah, my microphone died. That's why you stopped hearing, but I don't know what I last said or how long. Was there no sound for very long? Anyways, if I made a bunch of roses and then sold them, and then like I might be able to buy other things from people that I'm not good at making, but you know what I mean? So I could buy lots of stuff for the house, but I'd rather try and make things. So I got to start thinking about, like, the kitchen is the first room. If I didn't already say this, or if you didn't hear me say this, the kitchen is the room that we're working on the first for the elves. That's the other thing. I did mark out on this other wood the countertops for the kitchen. So I need to cut the countertops and then cover them with something so they look like countertops. I'm not sure what, and I need to make the backsplash thing for the kitchen as well. So, but yeah, there's so many options for miniatures. It doesn't just have to be polymer clay. I think I really like the polymer clay, and I like the things that I can make. And like I said, that's where, if this is my specialty and I like doing it and I become really good at it, those are things that I could sell to people who maybe the next person really likes doing woodwork and they make good things, so I can buy their stuff. So yes, if you have money, you can buy lots of stuff. People make lots of these things. There's even, places like artists that you can commission to make, I want 1/6 size stuff, like for Barbies and elves and stuff. So they would make it to the size that I need and everything else. But that's a lot of money when you can try and make, especially out of cardboard or household. There's one person who posted in one of the miniature groups saying like they'd like to make things, but they don't have a big budget. And I as well as others gave them ideas, but I told them that there's people who make everything out of, some people who make everything out of cardboard. And like I said before with the spice rack, even if it doesn't look perfect, it's still so cool to see people's interpretations of things, even especially when it's all made out of cardboard, even if it's all cut wonky and glued wonky and everything else, it's still brilliant. It's still, I love in our art class, like during our art class, when we're making things, it's so important to like just take a moment and walk around and look at everybody else's, because some people are better than you. So, you can look at theirs and get ideas, and some people aren't as good as you. So you can feel better about yourself and yours, but you just it's crazy how our teacher will teach us the same thing and we're working on the same thing. And yet everybody's turns out differently, but still good. And even the people who aren't as good as other people still have really cool ideas and things to see. So yeah, don't let talent and skill stop you from doing these things. You guys know how messy and clumsy and not gentle I am. And here I am trying to make these really paper thin roses here that are turning out pretty good. They're not perfect. They're not like, but I haven't been making roses for 20 years either. So, but they still look pretty cool. You can, like I said, you can tell what they are. They look pretty cool. The first one is probably better, but yeah, they're all going to be good. I just need to make sure to open them up so they don't get squished together. And this is where, once I put them on the toothpicks, what do we call them? Cocktail sticks, whatever. They won't, because I don't want these to like blow around, because I don't want them to get flattened before they're hard. So there's another one. I don't know. I should figure out how to show you guys small things on here. But how many do we have now while we're talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've made 5. So we're halfway there. And actually, what time are we at? Oh, Kimber said that the sound wasn't gone for very long, and making it is the fun. We're almost at an hour, but you know what? We've made 5 roses. Let's keep talking till I'm done making 12 roses. So Oh, yes. Making is a lot of fun, and that's part of it. It can be therapeutic. It can be, you could be proud of whatever you make, even if it's not perfect. And yeah, like I said, I enjoy just sitting here playing, making things while we're watching TV. And right now I have a purpose for it because I want to make the fruit and veg stand. So it's nice to have like a project so you can think about what you want to do, but you don't really have to. These roses that we're making right now, I did this because I have so much pink and using colors that I already have. I don't have a place for these roses. I don't have a purpose for these roses, but how nice will it be when maybe my elf Aaron in the North Pole is missing his girlfriend Crystal at their new home, and he sends her these dozen roses for Valentine's Day just because he's thinking about her. See, the story can come later, and you don't even need to have a story. And like I said, okay, so you say you just you tried this polymer clay because it wasn't too expensive and you liked making things and you liked making, like I really liked making the bananas. Then you might not have anything else miniature in your house. You might not want to do the whole like elf like I'm doing and everything else, but you just sell your whatever you make to people like me who need whatever you made for their timeline and story. So don't be afraid to try new things. And like I said, it's also therapeutic. It's crafty, it's therapeutic, and you don't have to work this small. There's people who make beads. There's people who make sculptures. There's people who make things bigger. Obviously, the more clay you use, the more expensive it'll be. But you don't have to make things miniature like this because it is more persnickety if you are trying to make it, small. But I also like the fact that miniature means, like I said, less clay, so it's cheaper than making bigger things. However, what was I going to say? Beads, miniatures, sculptures. No, I don't remember what I was going to say. What did it have to do with therapy, making? Nope, no idea. Just make snakes even. Just roll out and make snakes. Make anything. This one's a bit thick. Like I maybe should have made the petals smaller. So I think also like with Jackson, he's not even 2 yet, but when he comes over, he calls us like Mima's stuff, like Grandma's stuff up on the table, Mima's stuff. But I know I can't wait to bring out the Play-Doh with Jackson as he gets older, and he'll make, and the girls used to make things with Play-Doh all the time. And again, it wasn't stuff that we kept. It got, I would take pictures of it, and then the Play-Doh would go back in its containers for the next time they were going to use their imagination. But I think if they wanted to, they would be really good at this kind of stuff because of all the practice and imagination they had with their Play-Doh when they were younger. So I look forward to making stuff with Jackson with this too. And other grandkids when we have more. No rush, just saying. And this is like, I know it's surprising that Lisa can be quiet sometimes. It's amazing the things that people can make with, I want to do more cardboard work too. Like I said, I want to try making things out of cardboard. I thought about making the not dresser, what do you call it? Wardrobe out of cardboard as well. But what was the other thing that I thought about making out of cardboard? Oh, there's a fireplace that I just saw today online, and they made a mock-up one with cardboard, and I was like, yeah, but that would have worked. But then they made one out of wood. But it doesn't matter because in the end they covered it with like the stuff that you get like drink tray holders from like McDonald's or wherever, or like if you get the egg cartons that you remember the stuff I showed you that was like cardboard kind of. Well, they ripped it into like these pieces and there was different colors and then they glued it on to make like rocks for the fireplace, the indoor fireplace, right? And then, you know, they painted it and made it look like grout and everything else. It looked so spectacular. But you could make your base out of cardboard first and then use that, you know, and so basically that could be cardboard, glue, the type of cardboard like that the trays come in, the egg trays, or the what do they call the other things? The drink tray holders, and some paint, some acrylic paint, and some time, and you could have like a little fireplace. And again, like I said, you don't have to, you can try making these things and you don't have to keep them if you don't want them or you don't know what you're going to do with them. There's plenty of people who will be like, that's so cool, I like, you know, making miniatures, I could really use that, or whatever. But there's no reason not to try making these things if you have time. And it, like I said, doesn't have to take long. Look, it's been an hour just talking to you and we're making some flowers. And like, I could walk away from this. This clay can stay out for years without drying out. So it doesn't have to be put away every night. Although Steve would probably like me to put it away every night. And you can just come back to it. Obviously, when it's soft, if you don't cook it, these roses that I'm making can easily be squished, just like I did there. So I like to try and bake my things every night that I've made so that I don't wreck them, because we know me. And yeah, so, but it's, yeah, it doesn't have to be something that takes up lots of time. If you only have a few minutes to work on something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What was that other color? Because I don't have, oh, I had mixed a color, right? Pink. So I used that and I mixed a bit of, what color did I mix in it? Maybe this, I don't know. I'll mix some of this. So how many did I say? 7? Yeah, 7. So we have 5 more to make, and then it'll be all for tonight. Like I said, I am waiting for the weather to change. I am going to be outside more. We won't be always making miniatures on my lives, but it's just something that I can do while I talk as well, while we can visit. So I haven't missed any comments, I don't think, and I haven't, you know, I haven't not been able to talk as well. I need to get back into the routine of some of the other things we do on the lives though too. So yeah, that's a nice color. So let's finish up here with our roses and then call it a day. And I should start doing, oh, well, that doesn't affect my lives, but I should start making some more meals in the kitchen, like a good little mom and wife. Not that it has to be the wife's job, but what I'm saying is that Steve's the one who's been making the meals, because I've been a bit slacking. As you guys know, there was the time that I was sick and then just stuff, and he's really good at it. So if he makes like a big pot of chili, and then even if we freeze it, he's fine having like the chili or the stew from the freezer every night while he's eating healthy. And if I make the kids fend for themselves, then, like, you know, so say he makes chili, that could be 3 nights of chili before we have to freeze it. And then whatever, and then, so I haven't had to make dinner a lot lately, but still have. I made those ribs and I made some, oh, Thomas made us chicken fettuccine Alfredo. It was so good. Steve couldn't eat that because it was white pasta and he's trying to eat healthy, and that's like, Alfredo sauce is like one of the most unhealthy sauces because it's basically butter, cream, and Parmesan cheese, the main ingredients. But it was really, really nice. And yeah, so Thomas made that dinner. So it's nice when we take turns too and have different things. Today we ate lunch at Amy's and we had different meats, including a nice roast beef sliced thin that Steve made last night because that's what Amy wanted. And yeah, nice sandwiches and salad and stuff. So I'm thinking about food right now, so I might want something small even though it's late. But we did eat a late lunch and it was quite filling, so most of us probably aren't even hungry. No, okay, so no, Kimber, it's not a holiday tomorrow. Kimber says, is tomorrow a holiday in the UK? It is Family Day here. Yeah, I talked about that at the beginning. So it's Family Day. It started in Alberta, which Kimber isn't in Alberta anymore. She's in the Maritimes, but it started in Alberta, I think in 1990, it might have said, because I just looked it up to see if it was for sure tomorrow. And it's the third Monday in February. For some reason, I always think of the 17th as Family Day anyways, but it's the third Monday in February, so it works out that it is the 17th this year. So tomorrow's Family Day. Did I say Mother's Day? I don't know what I'm talking about. Family Day, third Monday of February in Canada. And I don't know if all the provinces celebrate it, but definitely Alberta, and then obviously where Kimber is. So no holiday here, but, you know, it's important to appreciate the family anyways. And yeah, so have a happy Family Day to all those who are watching now or later if you celebrate Family Day. And, you know, always appreciate your family, no matter who they are. Or what, I mean, no matter what day it is. But it's always nice to have those days too to... Oh, so this rose has turned out really nice. It's just the bottom that I'm trying to turn in my fingers to shape without squishing the top. There's too much. I'm trying to pull the clay off the bottom. Again, not squishing the top. Okay, now it's turning out like a tulip, so I need to leave it alone. This one looked really nice, but now it's like going in like a tulip, so I'm going to open it. Kimber says, we are getting a winter storm in the Maritimes starting tonight. Yeah, this weekend here was rainy, and there was freezing rain and stuff, so it didn't seem like that bad outside while we were outside, but I have heard like that in certain places and stuff, the weather has not been favorable this weekend. But, you know, stay safe and stay warm. And let's be grateful that we have shelter and stuff in times when there is storms like that. So that, like, you know, there's so many things going on in life and so many people who don't know what they're doing or don't have the safety. And here I am just sitting here making little miniature roses, talking with my technology across the world in a warm home, talking about the food that I've already eaten and that I might eat later. And it's just amazing how different people's lives can be. And I don't want to take that for granted either. That became a rose that was very closed to very open. 3, 6, 7, 8. 4 more. How quickly I lose track of how many we've made because of talkie. And, but these are very special roses because they're made with you guys. So even if they're, obviously if I concentrated more, I might be able to make nicer ones and stuff, but these ones mean something to me because we made them together. I'm thinking of all of you guys out there who are watching this live or later. Happy, positive energy going out to you guys. I was listening to this podcast called The Dream, and it's about like selling the dream, like America, like MLMs, like multi-level marketing, like pyramid schemes. And then there's like the wellness trend and like just selling the American dream to people, just, like even if you're conning them. And then with the wellness stuff and everything, the life coaches, and it's not that there can't be positive people and life coaches, and even MLMs take from different things like Buddhism and, trying to like positive spin on life and, vision boards and manifesting and everything else. And there is definitely positive stuff to that. But then I also think of these influencers and people trying to sell things. And I do not want to be, I can talk and I'll just be myself, but I don't want to be one of those, like, I can be happy and excited and be like, and honestly, you guys, I believe in manifesting and I believe in your attitude can change things, attitude of gratitude and everything else. And I'm not saying that white privilege doesn't have something to do with where my life is or the middle class life that I live doesn't have something to do with the fact that I'm more positive or whatever. But at my worst and my best, I know that getting out of bed, there was a point to whether you're healthy or not. It's how are you going to see the day? So But I wouldn't want to ever be one of those people who, like, I don't want to sell things to people that just for my benefit, so that I couldn't take advantage of people or take people's money or anything like that for my benefit. And I don't want to be, I don't care to be mega rich. I don't care to me, success is being happy with your life, no matter where you are in life. And my goal, whenever anybody would ask me growing up what I wanted to do when I got older, it was just be happy. And that's partly because of suffering with depression. Being happy was the goal all the time. But at the same time, it was also like, kind of like, does it matter? Does it matter what I'm doing? Yeah, I'd love to be an artist. I'd love to do different things. But whatever I do, wherever I end up, in any situation, all I want to do is be happy and be content. And I love that I am. I love that I don't need to be super rich. And yes, I am comfortable, so that does make a difference. But I've been poor. I've been, like, barely had any food for the kids and no money to pay the bills, and, not knowing if our heat or water was going to get shut off. And so I've been in situations like that, and listen, I'd rather not be in situations like that, but I still found contentment in the fact that we did find food, even if it wasn't what we wanted to eat. We always found a way to pay the bills, even if it was juggling between not paying this one, but paying that one, and figuring things out, and even sometimes going into debt, which isn't ideal, but you do what you got to do. But most important to me in life is, success to me is being happy and content with where you are, wherever you are. But I don't take for granted that I have a good life and that I have health. Because again, and you see these people in like Los Angeles and stuff, and they're not all rich. Let's remember that everybody who lost their house there's lots of just normal people who lost their houses and stuff in Los Angeles. But all these people who lost their houses, the rich ones, they might have money and insurance that will cover the stuff that they lost. But you can't, replace the things that they made as children, or their children made, or, the sentimental things. And then it goes with health too. No matter how rich you are financially, you can't buy health. And yes, some people can buy better doctors and better, access to medicines and stuff like that. But in the end, 8, 9. In the end, say you have cancer. If the cancer is going to take you, it's going to take you. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. And I like that saying about, like, people who work with people at the end of their life. How many people on their deathbed are saying, oh, I wish I would have made more money, or I wish I would have, spent more time at work. People who are dying always have the same, the same type of, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have made amends with the people that I fell out with, or different things like that. So actually, how we do the death questions, but I've been lacking on that too sometimes. Let's do that as the question for this month. If you died today, yesterday, tomorrow, whatever, then what would you, and again, this can be private. You don't need to share this with anyone if you write it in your book, but what, if you died yesterday or tomorrow or today, what would you wish that you did more of or less of? What would you, what would be your regrets, or your, what would you change right now? Like if you died right now, what would, it might be like not spending time with family, but it might be just doing more art. It might have been spending more time in nature, or traveling more, or just sitting more, because you're always on the go, like things need to be done now. I wish I would have just taken more time to sit down and have a coffee or a tea. And, so that's a question of the week. I want you to think about that. If you died yesterday or today or tomorrow, what things would you be on your deathbed saying, I wish I did more of, or less of, or changed? And Kimber said, I agree with on all of it, of what I was saying earlier. So yeah, this one's turning out nice too. I think if I stretch, see, this is the thing, the more you do it, the more you get a feel for it too. So while I'm wrapping it around, I'm kind of stretching the clay, and it becomes thinner, and then I just kind of turn it on an angle so it's turned out so that the petals aren't flat against the last one. So getting a hang of this, but like I said, this no matter how many bouquets I make after this one's going to be very special to me. Not only is it my first roses that I've ever made out of clay, but it's our bouquet. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 2 more, even though I like keep counting after every single one. 2 more, and then it's a day. It's the end of the day. It's the end of the week. Well, depends when you consider the end of the week. If you consider it Saturday and then Sunday is the beginning of the next week, or Monday is the beginning of a week. So kind of like, because if you go to work or school or whatever, kind of Monday is the start of the new work week or school week or whatever. So we'll just say that's the beginning. This is the end of the weekend, end of this week. And who knows what tomorrow has in store for us besides Family Day, if it's a holiday for Albertans and Canadians. And oh yeah, so Family Day is actually, like in Canada, it's like what we call a bank holiday here in the UK. So it's actually a holiday too, the Family Day. So they have the time together to spend with your family. And family doesn't always have to be blood related. Remember, family is, you know, the people that you would do anything for, the people that you know you can rely on, the people who are your people in life, the people that you want to spend holidays with and birthdays with and dinners with or whatever. So enjoy whoever you have in your life. Not all of us are lucky enough to have like biological family that we actually want to be around or that we can rely on or that are good people. But, you know, so family doesn't have to be. And that's like, you don't have to keep people in your life just because they're family. That's crap. If they're toxic, if they're not good for your mental health, if they don't, you know, want the best for you, then you do not need to be around them. And even if you do need to be around some of them sometimes because everybody gets together and, you know, you don't want to miss the event, but you know, so-and-so is going to be there. Try and minimize your time with them because, you know, do what's best for your mental health. Life's too short, definitely, for that. Well, it's stucky. Guys, I'm getting better at this. I don't want to toot my own horn, but if you look at the bouquet, you'll probably be able to tell which ones were made first and which ones weren't, besides the fact that I'm showing most of them to you guys. And I haven't even made a dozen, and I'm happy with some of them. Hard to see. That just looks like I don't even know what that looks like. Oh, Kimber says, do you have a roller ball tool? Like I have dowel. No, not dowels. What are they called again? Like I have all the styluses with like different size balls on the end, but I don't have like a rolling ball, like something that rolls inside of the thing, if that's what you mean. Actually, I think I do have something like that, but I don't know if it would work good with clay because I wouldn't want the clay to go up inside the rolly part. I don't know if that's what you meant, Kimber. Did I just make 11? So now this is the last one. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so this is our last one, guys. And then I am going to get once I am done with you guys, I'm going to get the, what do you call them? Like cocktail sticks, and then put them all together and put them in the air fryer and then put them on bake and bake them and take a picture of them like that. And then I'll do the leaves and everything, but I'll add the picture of them baked to the bottom of this video because once I'm done on my live, I will post it. It'll take like 2 minutes to post, but once it's posted, I will put the picture of them after they've baked. I'll take a picture of them before I put them in, when they're all on their sticks, and then I'll take a picture of them after they bake, and then I'll work on their leaves and stuff, and I'll put that picture up. It might be tomorrow, but I'll put the picture of them baked These will take about 10 minutes to bake once I get them in there. So, you know, within like say about an hour, you can check back in the comments on this video and you should see at least a picture of them baked, not with leaves yet, but they'll be on sticks and baked, and then I'll do the color. I'll make the brown. I'll use these marker pens here that Steve got me. I showed you guys them, the double-sided marker pens to do the brown stems. And then these will be thornless roses because I'm not going to bother putting thorns on and stuff. But I will put some leaves on. Not very many, because even if you were to put your roses in a vase, you want to take off leaves, especially if they're going to be in the water. You don't want any greenery or anything like that. When you're putting flowers in a vase, you cut or pull off all the stuff that's lower than the water line, because if you have leaves and stuff like that in the water, they rot and your flowers won't last as long. And this is the last one, ladies and gents and everybody in between. So that is the last one of the 12. And what was the other thing I was thinking about? Stems. Oh, I may or may not, and this will be like in the next few days. So I'll show you them when, like, tomorrow they'll have the leaves and stuff on them. But I might make, if we're doing this bouquet, I might make some green, like, stems, or I don't know if I can make baby's breath, but something else to go with the roses. Perhaps, maybe just long green stem thingies to go with the roses in, you know, if we're making it a bouquet for Erin to give to Crystal to send to her house for Valentine's Day. So I've got the 12 roses here. You guys can see them all. I just lied them down right here, except the one that's on the stick. And I will do this. But I've enjoyed our time together as usual. It won't always be miniatures, but obsessions. I mean, my witch casket, they get sent out around the 14th, so my witch casket should be here tomorrow or Tuesday. So of course I'm excited about that. But I don't think you guys want me to do the unboxing of all that stuff all the time either. So let me know what you're interested in. I can do different lives on different things that you guys are interested in. It doesn't have to be miniatures. But I do love you guys, and I'm happy that you guys have tuned in, whether it's live or later, and I will see you guys next Sunday, okay? Like I said, check in about half an hour. There'll be a picture in the comments of the cooked roses, baked roses, and then next day, tomorrow or whatever, then I'll have them more in a finished, like with the leaves and everything else, all right? I love you guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for making these roses with me. Bye, guys.